The wooden container vegetable garden begins to flourish as plants mature, evolving into a thriving small ecosystem. The concept of this garden first emerges as a way to maximize limited space while embracing a sustainable, innovative approach to urban gardening. Repurposed wooden crates, some originally used to transport produce like apples and pears at farmers' markets, others weathered oak barrels discarded by local breweries, are collected, organized, and turned into distinctive garden beds. These containers nurture a variety of greens, aromatic herbs, and compact fruit plants, forming a landscape that balances utility with a rustic, eye-catching charm. The process kicks off with gathering wooden containers. Crates from nearby markets, once filled with fruits or root vegetables, are paired with sturdy barrels sourced from local eateries. Each piece is carefully checked for termites or deep splits. Minor damage is fixed with a few nails or by swapping out decayed boards. Drainage holes are precisely drilled into each base to avoid water buildup while keeping soil intact. For heavily worn containers, a layer of breathable landscape fabric is added to hold the soil together. This stage demands attention to detail, sawing jagged edges, smoothing surfaces with sandpaper to eliminate splinters, and ensuring usability. Once prepped, the containers are arranged in rows or stacked into adaptable tiers, creating a versatile system that can shift with the seasons or gardener's whims. This garden in wooden containers serves as more than a workaround for limited traditional planting areas. It embodies ingenuity and the power of reuse. The modest backyard is thoughtfully segmented into zones to make the most of sunlight, water, and growth potential. The eastern edge, basking in strong morning rays, is dedicated to sun-craving crops like cherry tomatoes, zucchini, and arugula. The western side, cooled by afternoon shade, cradles containers with chard, collards, and herbs like rosemary and oregano. The central zone, flanking the main walkway, supports climbing crops such as peas and pole beans, held up by sturdy trellises crafted from bamboo or salvaged timber. The containers, each with its own size and weathered character, are positioned to create a cohesive design, easy to tend and delightful to view from all perspectives. Soil preparation follows as a vital step. A rich mix of loamy garden soil, worm castings, and airy peat moss is blended to provide aeration, moisture retention, and vital nutrients. Each container is filled with this mixture, leaving ample room for root expansion while keeping the weight manageable for relocation. A topping of straw mulch or wood shavings is layered on to lock in moisture, deter weeds, and shield the soil from rain-induced erosion. This soil work isn't merely procedural, it's the bedrock ensuring these container-bound plants can prosper despite their spatial constraints. A watering system is tailored to the garden's unique needs. A network of drip lines connects to a repurposed wooden tank, fashioned from an old barrel, tucked in a yard corner. Thin tubes with tiny perforations weave through the containers, delivering precise water doses without excess. A compact solar-powered pump drives the system, cutting energy use and easing manual labor. Rainwater, captured from the roof through wooden troughs, feeds into the tank for recycling, establishing an eco-friendly water loop within the garden. Plant selection comes next once the soil is set. Cherry tomatoes, bursting with petite red gems, are planted in spacious containers in the sunny east. Zucchini, with its broad leaves and vibrant fruits, joins them to diversify color and fill space efficiently. Arugula, with its peppery green leaves, fills lower containers, sprawling freely without needing height. In the shaded west, chard and collards thrive in deeper boxes, their leaves staying lush in cooler light. Herbs, rosemary, oregano, and thyme, sprout in smaller containers along the path for quick kitchen access. Centrally, peas and pole beans are sown beside bamboo trellises, expected to ascend and drape the space in green, offering shade below. The garden's layout shifts within weeks. Cherry tomato seedlings poke through the eastern soil, small yet lively, stretching toward dawn's light. Zucchini unfurls bold leaves, hinting at future harvests of golden fruits. Arugula carpets the low containers, ready to pick in mere weeks. Chard and collards climb steadily in the west, their leaves fluttering gently, infusing the area with vitality. Herbs waft enticing scents, rosemary's earthy notes blending with oregano's warmth, carried by every breeze. Natural light, though beyond control, is optimized by strategic container placement. Sun-hungry plants like tomatoes and zucchini sit in unobstructed spots, free from house or tree shadows. Shade-friendly chard and herbs nestle near the western wall or under roof overhangs, where light mellows by afternoon. Some lightweight containers gain wheels from repurposed materials, enabling easy shifts to track sunlight or tidy the ground beneath. This flexibility keeps the garden attuned to seasonal changes, ensuring ideal growth conditions. Peas and pole beans, slower to start, latch onto their trellises with delicate tendrils, climbing upward with promise of a verdant canopy. Peas bloom with tiny white flowers, drawing pollinators like bees, while beans hint at pods to come, adding abundance to the rustic setup. Maintenance demands steady care. Each morning, the drip system waters the soil gently, avoiding saturation. Organic nutrients, think compost tea or fish emulsion, are applied every 2 weeks to keep the soil fertile. Weeds, scarce thanks to the mulch, are nipped early to protect crops. Worn wooden planks, softened by dampness, are swapped out as needed to maintain container strength and appeal. Every effort preserves the garden's vigor and output. To elevate its look, containers receive natural enhancements. Some are brushed with light gray or sage green paint for a crisp feel, while others keep their aged, earthy tones for rustic allure. A few sport hand-carved vine or leaf motifs, showcasing a whimsical touch. Pebbles line the paths between containers, easing access and softening the wood's edges. Artificial lighting extends the garden's charm after dusk. Solar LEDs on bamboo stakes dot the pathways, bathing leaves and tomato clusters in a warm glow. More containers expand the planting scope. Large crates, once hauling market fruits, stack into a tiered tower in the east. Braced with wooden supports, they hold potatoes in the base, beets and turnips mid-level, and fast-growing spinach atop, maximizing space and variety. Smaller crates, ex-wine boxes, become hanging planters along the fence, sprouting strawberries with sweet red berries dangling mid-air. Painted in muted orange and beige, they brighten the fence into a living tapestry. The garden grows into a self-sustaining hub over time. Cherry tomatoes ripen, ready for picking, while zucchini yields tender fruits in vibrant hues. Arugula and chard offer steady harvests, herbs provide daily snippets, and peas begin podding, enriching the wooden haven. Water doubles as a feature. The corner tank, painted a muted teal, stands as both reservoir and rustic centerpiece. A small fountain, carved from a spare container, trickles water onto pebbles at the garden's heart, its sound calming and bird-attracting. Birdsong greets each day as feathered visitors perch on trellises or sip from the fountain. The garden adapts through seasons, soil refreshed with compost and bark chips preps carrots and beets for fall, while microgreens sprout weekly in small boxes. As this wooden container garden solidifies with thriving beds at its core, the backyard broadens with fresh concepts for beauty and function. Initial containers, lush with tomatoes, zucchini, and arugula, spark a grander vision of a multifaceted space blending food production, pollinator blooms, and artful rustic elements, fostering sustainability and respite in city life. As the wooden container garden solidifies into a vibrant ecosystem teeming with vegetables and fruits, its evolution doesn't halt. The backyard continues to expand with innovative additions that amplify both its productivity and its serene, rustic allure. The initial containers, bursting with cherry tomatoes, zucchini, and arugula, set the stage, but the vision grows bolder, weaving in new layers of diversity, sustainability, and community engagement. This garden becomes more than a food source, it transforms into a living testament to creativity, blending edibles, flowering accents, and handcrafted elements within its weathered wooden frame. More containers are introduced to broaden the planting canvas, pushing the boundaries of what this modest space can sustain. In the northwestern corner, a cluster of wide, shallow troughs, once used to age cider at a nearby orchard, is arranged in a semicircle. These troughs, reinforced with simple metal bands for durability, are filled with a blend of composted manure and sandy loam. Inside, bushy broccoli plants take root, their sturdy stalks promising tight green heads over time. Surrounding them, smaller containers, repurposed from old shipping crates, host radishes and mustard greens, quick-growing crops that thrive in the partial shade of the trough's edges. This semicircular layout not only boosts planting area but creates a cozy nook, inviting quiet moments amid the greenery. Near the southern fence, a series of tall, narrow containers, salvaged from discarded toolboxes, rises in a staggered line. These are painted in muted tones of charcoal and olive, adding a sleek contrast to the wood's natural grain. Each is filled with a lightweight mix of soil and perlite, then planted with climbing snap peas and trailing nasturtiums. The peas reach upward, twining around slender stakes made from pruned tree branches, while the nasturtiums spill over the edges with their round leaves and fiery orange blooms. This vertical arrangement maximizes height, offering both food and a splash of color that softens the fence's rigid line into a cascading green wall. To nurture these new additions, the trellis system evolves with greater intricacy. Beyond the bamboo supports for peas and pole beans, a trio of circular frames, crafted from bent willow branches and twine, rises near the garden's northern edge. These frames, anchored into the soil with wooden stakes, are sown with vining squashes like acorn and delicata, their broad leaves and curling tendrils destined to cloak the circles in lush green. Building these requires patience, from soaking the willow to bend it into shape to tying each joint securely. Once complete, they stand as both functional supports and organic sculptures, their rounded forms echoing the garden's gentle, natural aesthetic. The irrigation system adapts to this growing expanse with refined efficiency. Additional drip lines extend from the teal-painted wooden tank, threading through the troughs and tall containers. A simple gravel and charcoal filter is added to purify collected rainwater, ensuring clean flow through the tubes. The solar pump, now upgraded with a dual-panel setup, powers the system effortlessly, delivering water to every corner. A second water feature emerges, a shallow basin carved from a cracked barrel, nestled near the broccoli troughs. Lined with smooth river stones, it collects overflow from the drip lines and hosts floating duckweed, adding a tranquil shimmer while supporting the garden's water cycle. Natural light remains a guiding force, with container placement fine-tuned for balance. The broccoli troughs sit where morning sun filters through, tempered by the house's shadow later in the day. The tall snap pea containers along the south catch full midday light, perfect for their upward climb. The willow squash frames, positioned in the north, bask in even daylight, unobstructed by structures. A few troughs are mounted on salvaged wooden crates, raising them slightly to dodge low-angle shade in winter, ensuring every plant thrives through shifting seasons. Care for this expanding garden tightens into a rhythm of precision. Water flows through the drip system twice daily, dawn and dusk, calibrated to suit each crop, a hearty dose for squashes, a lighter touch for mustard greens. Nutrient boosts come from a homemade blend of eggshell powder and seaweed extract, sprinkled monthly to enrich the soil. Weeds, stifled by the shavings mulch, are plucked swiftly when they appear. Containers showing wear, cracked troughs or splintered toolboxes, are patched with natural resin or replaced with spares from the growing stockpile, keeping the garden sturdy and inviting. The garden's transformation accelerates as new plants take hold. Broccoli crowns begin to form in the troughs, their deep green heads peeking through velvety leaves, hinting at hearty winter meals. Radishes and mustard greens sprout rapidly beside them, their crisp roots and spicy leaves ready in weeks. Snap peas climb their stakes, delicate white blossoms giving way to tender pods, while nasturtiums tumble downward, their orange flowers buzzing with visiting bees. The willow frames grow heavy with squash vines, acorn and delicata fruits dangling like ornaments amid the foliage, adding a rustic bounty to the scene. To deepen its ecological harmony, pollinator-friendly plants weave into the mix. Small pots of lavender, with their purple spikes, dot the pathways, drawing butterflies and hoverflies to aid the peas and tomatoes. Clumps of dill, their feathery fronds swaying lightly, are tucked into spare corners near the troughs, luring ladybugs to keep pests at bay naturally. A few wild berry shrubs, blackcurrants and gooseberries, are planted in wide, low containers near the northern edge, their tart fruits a future treat for both humans and birds. This blend of flora fosters a buzzing, chirping vitality, knitting the garden into a self-regulating web of life.